is Michelle Pisukan, BSc 1D. So for today's vlog, we'll talk about the reflection about Philippine history and Torrentera. I believe also acknowledges that the United States as the occupying power has certain obligation under international law to protect the lives and property of the Cuban. This obligation is based on the principle of belligerence of occupations which requires the occupying powers and to maintain law or order to respect the rights of the occupied population. It should be noted by U.S. occupation to Cuba was controversial issue at that time that since being subject to criticisms for its impact the Cuban sovereignty of independence. The 31st of December 8, 1898 marks an end of the Spanish-American war between the United States and Spain. As the language model, its historical significance of the treaty of the impact on both countries and the world. However, it's a raised question about the military legionary America. Reflection number 12. I believe all acknowledge that the United States, an occupying power, has certain obligation under international law to protect the lives and property of the Cuban people. This obligation is based on the principle belligerent occupations of the requirements of occupying power of maintain law of orders and respect the rights of the occupied population. It should, however, it should be a question about the morality and legitimacy Americans' power of the whole world. Accusations of theories of the caverns of the Pacific give the United States new categories and advantages of the global power of entry into the rank of imperial nations. The United States investigates heavily of the Philippines building infrastructure of the institution of lying to Americanize of the population and treaty. Reflection number 13. The retraction controversy surrounding Jose Rizal a topic is the as long as fascinated scholars and historians alike at the heart of the debate and the question of whether or not Rizal, a Philippine national hero, truly retracted and anti-Catholic writings and controversy of the Catholicism before his execution in 1896. This version of event put a truly for the purview of the Vigilancia, a group of Spanish soldiers touched with regarding Rizal during this imprisonment has been one of the most controversial of the heavily debated accounts of retractions. Accounting of the versions, Rizal wrote of the retractions in a statement on December 29, 1896, in which expressed remorse for his anti-Catholic writing and recognized the Catholic Church as one of the truly religion. Reflection number 14. A historic agreement between the Philippines and state of North Borneo, which was under British protection, established a demarcations line between their respective islands. The line was established by following a specific course starting from the particular meridian of longitude of the proceeding due north until an intersects and a specific parallel of the latitude. From their lines runs a straight and between two islands and reaches specific intersections of another parallel to latitudes and meridians to longitudes. These latter points of significance because of the boundary defined the previous treaty between the United States of Spain. This passage reflects the importance of the defining boundaries and demarcations lines. Section number 15. An important historical moment is the relationship between Spain and United States and Cuba. It highlights at the end of Spanish-American War and transfer control the Cuba from Spain to the United States. The provision that United States assumed responsibility to protecting the lives and property of the Cuban people during its occupations recognized an importance to international law of obligations of occupying powers. Reflecting on the statement on also reminds of us the complex history of the power dynamics between nations, and in fact, they can be have people lives. It undergoes the important democracy of international law resolving conflict, ensuring the protecting human rights. Reflection number 16. The Treaty Paris of 1783 was the defining moment in the world history making. The end of American revolutions, war, and the birth of the United States of America and independent nations. The treaty established the boundaries of the new nations, resolved the several outstanding issues between the United States and Britain of the significant applications for both countries and the world of the whole. The legacy of the Treaty Paris lives today as the nations around the world continue to seek independence, self-determination, and peace resolutions conflict. Question number 17. It is the worth of nothing that granted women the right of vote of significant milestones and right fight and gender equality, the women's right. The struggle of the strappers was a long and arduous one that took decades of the activism and advocacy by women's rights organizations to achieve these goals. The fact that the Constitution provided the plebiscite of the issues of women's suffrage is also significant. At issues, the government was willing to consider opinions of the people on their matter. The right votes of the fundamental democratic right, the fact and women were granted this right to testament to progress that been made to promoting gender equality. The accept you have shared provide the glimpse into the historic moments of the struggle for women's right to progress that he had been to make promoting gender equality. Section number 18. The Philippines is the republic of the government established by this constitution which defines the country of the Republic of the Philippines. The government is based on the democracy system and power vested on the people and exercised through their elected executive, legislative, and judicial, which is designed to provide system to check the balance and ensure the one of the branch has too much power. It declares the Republic of the Philippines has complete control authority over the entire international territory as defined by law. The phrase national territory refers to the country and law, water, airspace, and other resources that belong to the states and Philippines has sovereign nations. Election number 19. The Land Reform Act of 1955, also known as Republic Act No. 1400, was the landmark legislation of the history of the Philippines. It was the sign of law to President Ramon Magsaysay on June 18, 1955, with the aim of promoting social justice and economic development in the country by redistributing agricultural and small landries of the tenants. At the time of the enactment of the Philippines was still reeling from the devastations of World War II. The country was facing numerous challenges into poverty, unemployment, and landlessness. The vast majority of the population was farmers, did not own their rent work on. This situation perspective the cycle property of the social economy. Reflection number 20. The Philippines is the Republican state of the democratic government system. The 1987 Philippine Constitution affirms that the sovereignty resides the people of that all government authority emanates from them. This means that the people have the ultimate power to choose this leader. The government authority comes from the people. The government means duty to serve, to protect the people, uphold here and rights and welfare. It is the responsibility to both a government to people defense the state of the citizens may be required by law to provide military or civil service to fulfill this duty. This means that we will state or treat them to under attack. The government can call upon the citizens to assist defending through military and civil service.